how we are organizing the colonization of our solar system. So if you look at any great achievement, it's a combination of vision and execution. A lot of people don't have either, but most people lean more towards one or the other. Great people like Elon Musk, Henry Ford, Jeff Bezos, they have both. Elon Musk could envision a world where electric cars were not just go-karts, and how they could be efficient in batteries and range and sexy as vehicles. He imagined that SpaceX, which is really just a vertical logistics company, as described by a typical CEO, like trucks take merchandise horizontally and SpaceX takes merchandise and materials vertically, into a company that's actually backing up the human race. So he galvanizes people to both work for the company and love the company and use the company because of the grand mission that it serves. So the idea of colonizing our solar system is very vague at this point. Even at the National Space Society, talks in great detail about how the moon is going to be colonized and how Mars is going to be colonized, and just a little bit about how the asteroids are going to be colonized. But in order to achieve great things, you have to begin with the end in mind. There's a famous book that talks about that. I believe it's Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the principles is begin with the end in mind. There's another famous expression that says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will do. So in order to colonize the solar system efficiently and effectively, we have to understand what the different pieces are and what it involves. A few different things on that. First thing is talent. Which teams win in business, which teams win in the NBA, the NFL, which families are most effective. They're the ones that develop. Maybe family's not the best example because you can't bring in outside people. But the teams are the ones that bring in the best people and then nurture and develop them. Teams win in business and teams win in life. So what we're doing is starting to work with some of the top leaders in the space industry that are related to colonization. And, just how Alibaba has like a 100-year plan, I think, space requires more. Like what's happening is it's so incremental that it's hard to do big things if you're thinking in small time frames. So if we're just thinking about colonizing Mars and we're just thinking about colonizing the moon, there's an expression that what got you here is not going to get you there. So what's going to get us to Mars may not get us to Jupiter. I mean, what got us to the moon may not get us to Neptune, and the moons and whatever else, and making those kind of decisions. And then as we eventually get outside the solar system. So we're starting to work with a few of the top people that are related to the capabilities and the abilities to put this together in the entire world. And if you'd like to be included, we can consider you as well if you're at that level. So it's a matter of integration. Just like companies on Earth are all about convergence. So, robotics, nanotechnology, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, space travel, all these different things and more are impacting, so many different industries. So if you just focused on one thing, but you're not aware of convergence and how these things apply, then you'll be blindsided. Not in terms of features looking for a problem, not just to have a gee whiz bang technology, but actually solving pain points. You have to reverse engineer. You have to see what is the pain point, and then what are the technologies that are necessary to solve that pain point. Technologies, processes, and business models. So it's not using things just for their own sake, but everything is affecting everything else. That's why Facebook, Google, Amazon, These companies are all encroaching on each other's turf because everything is merging into everything else. So in terms of colonizing the solar system, what is the space travel going to look like? Both, in terms of like one-time travel and then travel between destinations. What are the communications going to look like? What is the economy going to look like? What is the energy going to look like? What is the energy storage going to look like? What is the legal system going to look like? I mean, how do you how do you do laws from one jurisdiction to the next, from one planet to the next? How do you do social norms? How do you do money? Is money good in one planet and another planet? How do you do energy? In different type of environments. How do you do construction? How do you do entertainment? So all of these things have to be integrated in a coherent fashion in order to effectively colonize the solar system. This is just to whet your appetite. There'll be future podcasts that go into this in much more detail.